off. We've got recording.
Nice.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. So we do have some new devices we're messing around with. We're actually live from the man cave right now.
Yes, sir.
I guess technically not live from the man cave.
No,
This will be
but-
recorded, but we are live.
Close enough to.
We're live in
as
the
we
man
can.
cave, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of testing out the new mic and the new, not new mic. I guess the mic is still.
The mic is
the mic's
old.
the OG. It was
Yes.
original, but we are messing with sound and all of that good stuff. So if you'll be patient with us, we're fine tuning. But this is what we'll basically be doing for the base camp and all of our mobile wherever we go.
Yeah.
We're going to be
Yeah.
hooking it up with this. So that being said, welcome to the Man Cave podcast. I feel a wreck. I haven't had a haircut in almost 2 months, and I'm about to go crazy. I'm getting one today, so my hair is a mess. We are here having a blast. Recorded the podcast earlier today. We wanted to save a lot of what we talked about with fantasy and all of that stuff for the Man Cave podcast. So we're going to go ahead and unload our feelings about the first Chiefs loss of the season.
Yes.
And basically the Cardinals' loss of a season. So bear with us as we unload some steam, and we're going to go ahead and open up with the fantasy draft because I'd like to open up with good instead of just going right in on hatefulness. So the draft was a blast.
Yeah.
As somebody who was, what was your pick?
I was fourth.
So relatively early pick.
Yep.
How did you feel about your first pick?
Pretty good. I picked up Travis Kelce. Granted, of course, he was hurt week 1, but I knew Travis Kelce's a solid go-to. So if I didn't take him, someone else would. So.
That's kind of the reason behind Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's why I picked him was, everybody's, they hate on a quarterback going first, but bro, Patty's, he saved me in one season from being dead last. So that's all I care about is just not being last.
Right.
I mean, as long as I make it out alive and not at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
So, but, so as far as fantasy picks, how do you feel about your team?
Overall, not too bad. It didn't go quite like I wanted it to.
So what's a regret?
Letting Chase go.
Chase.
Jamar Chase, the
wide
receiver.
Okay.
Yeah, wide receiver from the Bengals. Passed up on him the second round, and I totally shouldn't have. But
my thing with fantasy football, this is what frustrates me about it, is there are guys that are good that you don't, like the Bengals. Bro, you don't want to watch the Bengals go off on the Chiefs.
yeah.
But if you got Jamar Chase, you're like,
Kind of wanted to go off.
as long as Patrick can go ahead and throw 7 touchdowns
Right.
and like he did on Monday, rush for more than the running back did, then you'll be all right. But no, I think it's funny that like how the draft goes. Like you can go in with whatever plan you want to, and it can fail, or you could match it up perfectly. It doesn't matter. Like it's just fun with the
Right.
church guys,
Yeah.
But to hark on one of the things, Michael, he needs to be just stop. It's ridiculous. If my phone goes off with another notification about a fantasy attempted
Waiver wire,
waiver wire
Yes.
trade, and it's Michael, and he's picked up the same guy he's dropped 5 times,
Yeah.
I'm throwing my phone. I just
He picked up 185 different people last year from the waiver wire. Well, I guess it's the same people, but
what's the average?
well, Michael's the above average at 185 last year. The next closest person was Brett at 85, and then it dropped down to 50, and then everybody else averaged somewhere between like 15 to 20 to 50. So Michael went above and beyond, and I'm pretty sure that's how he won last year, was that waiver wire.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot. So going to the Chiefs Thursday night loss. I watched it till I want to say it was about 3 plays after Patty threw that beautiful pass that was ricocheted right out of the hands and intercepted.
Oh yeah, right after Tony.
And he brought it back for a pick 6. And I can't stand Chris Collinsworth. Lord, I love you. But if Jesus ever let me walk up to somebody and punch him in the face and he would forgive me, which I've already been forgiven of it, but I wouldn't feel bad for it. It'd be Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah.
But the thing is, yes, you were missing Travis Kelce. The problem is, it's just like what everybody was saying about Tyreek Hill whenever he left. It's another target.
Right.
So if you would have had that target, Gray couldn't. You could have thrown a football with super glue, instant super glue on it, and he would have dropped it.
He still would have dropped it, yeah.
And
that's how I felt about Tooney, too, is dude dropped everything other than, like, 2 throws, or 2 catches, I guess. But his passer rating was the worst over the last 5 years. So no one's got that low of a rating since 2018.
And my thing is, what really frustrates me, and I understand, like, it's, and this is going to sound grandpa, but Chris Jones being there watching.
Yeah.
To me, like, obviously I'm not making millions of dollars. I'm not as good at being a defensive end as him. But as somebody who, in my work, it's, you're team related. You're team based.
Yeah.
He signed a contract saying what he was going to make for X. I understand Aaron Donald's making this. I understand all these guys are making this. The bottom line is, you signed for this.
Right.
You said for 5 years, why you don't get to go to your car loan and be like, nope, I want $150 a month or I'm not paying it, and I'm sitting out until you give me it. And the car loan place is like, oh, okay, there you go. You signed a contract.
Right.
You're paying this for this amount of years. So, like, if your car payment's $150, somebody has a newer car and their contract's $330, and they're like, well, I want a $150 car payment, which I don't even know if those exist anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I remember my first car payment was, I want to say it was $152. My second one was $225. I was just like, and then 2016, I tried to get, I did get a new car, and my car payment was like $678, and I was like, oh.
I was gonna say, for my truck it was right around $250, and then for my car it was almost $30. So it was pretty insane.
But to me, and then the nerve to sit there and watch. I say it like that, and then I begin to realize, he's standing up for himself, I guess.
Yeah.
So I try to see two sides of it. How are you?
I'm in the same boat as you. I can see it being selfish, and yeah, I mean, the dude gave his word that he signed a contract saying that he's going to be there and put in the practice and work and stuff like that. But I also see that he's standing up for himself, and he believes he deserves more money and stuff like that.
And the thing is, to say that the guy's not worth the money, you would be wrong in saying that.
Right.
It's just, what frustrates me is I feel like that's what's wrong with these teams nowadays. That's why the Cardinals aren't as good as they used to be. It's all about this money factor, and it's not about being a good franchise anymore.
Right.
And I understand Patrick Mahomes makes a
X, Y, and Z.
lot of money.
Right.
I get that.
Excuse
but the cat did what he did.
Right.
And
well, he also gave up part of his ante up, I guess, if you want to call it, to keep the franchise and be able to get better targets and stuff like that. And
I've also been at a job, and that's what it is. It's a business. It's a job. I've been at work and felt not valued. I didn't have the nerve enough to be like, I'm gonna sit out and wait. Hey, I feel like I'm worth more than this, but haven't been like, I'm sitting at home until you pay me more because they've got somebody. It's the real life,
Yeah.
So obviously he's good enough at his. There we go. Woo. He's good enough at his profession that he's going to make money somewhere. If the Chiefs don't pay him, somebody's going to pay him.
Yeah.
But it's frustrating because you see the potential of this team with Chris Jones out there. And the defense at the beginning of the game, it was kind of sketchy. They let Goff kind of do whatever. The first drive, they stopped him. Out. Boom. And it's like, oh, okay, so you see that. And you're like, oh, we don't need him. And then just 20-yard pass after 20-yard pass after 20-yard
Yeah.
pass, and then they tried to go to that run game, and the Chiefs killed that in the water. But Goff just turned right back around, 20-yard pass, boom, boom, boom. But I just that was just it's something that I was trying to do was bring to light what's the positive of it. But that would have to be hard to be Patrick Mahomes and he did what he did with his ankle and played like he did through that injury for the Super Bowl. Now, granted, he's making multi-millions of dollars.
Correct.
I get that. You're the face of the franchise. And he is probably one of the most competitive quarterbacks there. You know, I mean, me and you have talked about the Netflix series. It's kind of, you know, he does curse a lot in it, so it's not like it's child friendly. But you do see at least what the cameras will catch of Patrick Mahomes, and it was kind of tough whenever they kept showing the footage of him sitting, which I say it was tough. I'm just a guy sitting there watching a TV show waiting to go to bed, you know what I mean? So it's not like it was killing me, but I was just kind of curious your thoughts on it, because you're more of a diehard Chiefs fan than I am. I was just kind of... I really would like to ask, which, I mean, Woody's going to have... I mean, I'd like to know what Woody, because he's got more of like a defensive fan mindset anyways, you know, but that's kind of...
like, what do you mean, my opinion?
Of him sitting.
Of him sitting. I can see where he's coming from. Yes, he's a great player and stuff like that, and he feels like he deserves a raise and stuff like that. The positive side out of that is that his stock, if you want to call it that, went up after Thursday's game, and after not having about a week and a half of any communication with the front office, they sent him a contract deal yesterday, so Friday, after the game. So I think it's 5 years for $74.5 million, something like that, which is insane, which would make him the second or first highest paid defensive tackle in the league. So, or defensive end. I'm not entirely sure what position he is.
It's just it's kind of concerning, because you look at all of those big defensive players that have signed those big contracts.
Right.
You know, J.J. Watt gets his money, all of a sudden injuries, which J.J. Watt's a hard act to follow anyways. I mean, he went all the way out for everything. So you're going to have injuries that way. But it just seems like whenever you pay that Sam Darnold, I mean, Sam Darnold, it's just, you know, and I'm not saying that he's still not good, because, I mean, the cat's still big as man cave room here. But, to just see that kind of unfold was just kind of, I was like, that'd be something cool. So we'll kind of transition then into the latter of the two teams that have our hearts.
Throw it out there for you guys watching. We are at my home in the man cave.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll see the dogs jump in and out. That's Woody, and the one that just jumped down is Max. So if
Bridget calls him Wee, Wee.
If you see them jump up and down and do crazy stuff, that's why. It's their home as well, and they're just trying to have fun and all that fun stuff. So if we ever look down, that's probably why.
But so the Chiefs, it's, you know, the first game of the year, so we're not gonna woo and wah on. They're done for the year over that.
No.
So that's neither here nor there. It was 20-21. So I mean, for Patrick,
without Patrick Mahomes, Chris Jones, and, you know, everybody not catching anything, they were still only able to beat us by one.
Yeah.
So I mean, as great as the Lions are and stuff like that, they're.
But they started off hot last year too, because I had Goff as my starter.
They started out hot, and then they hit a lull, and then the back end of the season they won 8 out of 10.
Because I had Goff was my backup, because I had the one that went from the Lions to LA. why can't I can see his face?
Stafford.
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
Stafford was my starter, and I had sat Goff, and Goff was tearing it up, and
Yeah.
Stafford comes out throwing 4 interceptions every night and getting -2 points and stuff. I was like, oh, I should have played Goff. So they started off hot. Like,
Right.
the first 6 games was
Yeah.
out. He was, I mean, like 36, 47, 58, 75. It was like, man, this cat's putting some numbers out.
Right.
But, yeah, like you said, not to say that they're not bad, but they started off hot last year,
Right.
and then they kind of fizzled out. I heard him say something also about Andy Reid made a comment about how they were an aggressive team and that they took that personal.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything about that? Or
I
what
didn't. From what I saw was Goff was kind of imitating our fans and stuff like that, being a little unsportsmanlike. I could have been, you know, reading some false stuff and stuff like that, but to me that says a lot about his character and stuff like that. That's not really cool, but that doesn't surprise me if Andy Reid said that you know they took it a little personal and stuff like that. So
because there were it looks like a lot of late hits on Patrick.
Yeah.
I know everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what a Chiefs fan would say, but it looks like a lot.
And
There were
was
3 or 4 plays
Yeah,
there
that
where
were-
that one, I can't think of what his name, that white dude, I can't think of, he had a long last name, but
Henderson,
Henderson,
or not
yeah.
Henderson, Hutchinson.
Hutchinson, I say it like it, every
Yeah.
time. Yeah, Collins, yeah, like it. Yeah, that was it, and it was the last 3 were wrong, but no, there were a couple there where he would throw it, and it seems like he had plenty of time to stop, and he would wrap him up and take him
Right.
down. But I haven't really, I mean, as far as the Cardinals go, I haven't really watched a whole lot. With that whole whatever sports channel you have to have, that what is
Bally
that?
Sports.
Bally Sports.
Yeah.
So I don't really watch a whole lot of them anyways. I have been watching baseball, but it's just kind of sad to see the fan base give up like they have. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I know it's kind of foolish stuff that they've done, but
in my opinion, we're definitely in a rebuilding year.
oh yeah.
After
And you say that with Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt,
Right.
And you're rebuilding.
Yeah. After Yachty left, and then Albert Pujols and stuff like that. Granted, we weren't doing phenomenal, but we were doing better than we are now. But with Arenado and Goldschmidt, and everybody else, it's like they can't catch a break.
Yeah.
We got out of the basement, I think, 2 or 3 times this year, and then like a day and a half later, we're right back in. So
it's funny because I think it's so me. I'm either all the way. I can't watch a game and then lose and be fine watching it, so I just watch baseball in general because it's like I get mad, so I'd rather just watch baseball. But the thing that I have noticed with the pitch count and stuff like that, I feel like it is funny how they are steering this this whole we want home runs again, but we don't want the backlash of steroids.
yeah,
And I was watching, scrolling through TikTok, and they had Mark McGuire was talking to AJ Pazinski on a podcast, and they were talking about AJ Pazinski asking, he was like, so how do you feel about not being in the Hall of Fame? And he was like, baseball knew what we were doing. Which as a kid, like that was the era.
Yeah.
It was perfect because
right.
you're a St. Louis Cardinal, native. Not native, but you're a kid and you're
Right.
close, so that's your home team. And then Mark McGuire on top of that,
Just
and
hit
then
dingers.
Cubs.
Yeah.
You got the rivalry there,
Sammy,
so it was
yep.
perfect. And he was like, "We made baseball millions
Yeah.
because we brought limelight back to it, and they were okay with it. And now they're shutting us, which I don't really care for Barry Bonds. He's always kind of been a jerk. So as far as him not getting there, so I've always been fine with Mark McGuire because it's kind of a double standard. You can't be okay with Mark McGuire getting in. So I've always been. But was that something that was that like your time era? Do you remember McGuire?
My very first Cardinals game was with my dad and my grandpa, and we went and I think it was his 50th home run when he went on that 75 home run streak that year. So yeah, it was his 50th home run that we got to see, and I have a couple baseballs and some other stuff that have Mark McGwire's home runs from that year on. So,
And if you were to pick, so if obviously being a Chiefs fan, would you say a bigger Chiefs fan than Cardinal fan, or
ooh, it's probably a 60-40 split. Yeah, more football than
so
baseball.
as far as to say like because the Cardinals in our lifetime have seen more World Series.
Right.
No, because we got Patty.
Yeah.
So you've had 2 Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically in your lifetime you've seen 2 championships
for each.
because you would have the 06 and 2011. Yep. So, but like 2006, I kind of like,
remember. Yeah.
I remember more or less the because they had like David Eckstein and stuff.
Right.
Like
I remember the
weird. I remember it being a hodgepodge team.
Yeah.
And I was like, this looks like a team that you'd scrounge up for your backyard baseball team, like a bunch of no-name Ed Carnocion and stuff like that.
It was more like a Sandlot team.
Yeah, and you're just kind of like, where are these cats? And then like 2011 was kind of the same, I guess. But you had David Freese, the hometown hero, and
I thought he was about to knock over the camera. Sorry. Stop.
Boy, they're plotting over there.
You're scheming underneath the camera.
Yeah, but so for me, last year, obviously Super Bowls won by the Chiefs.
Right.
So you've got the defending champs. So you being more of a football fan, like the Chiefs thing is starting to roll. But where did it come from, and how did you keep through it for that long? Because like, for the most part, the Cardinals really haven't started stinking until recently. So for me, Cardinals baseball, it's not been like a hide your face whenever you're a Cardinal fan. As a Chiefs fan, granted they did have a Super Bowl before, and it was kind of 80s era, type. So, but still, a team that, you had Tony Gonzalez, Alex Smith, but then you start getting Andy Reid, then you get your Travis Kelce's and Patrick Mahomes, you get your Tyreek Hills. So, for you as a Chiefs fan, what's it been like, sort of the bad era before you get to the good era, or were you a fan during the bad era of the Chiefs?
There for a while, like growing up, my family was always divided. My mom was a huge Cowboys fan. My dad was a Rams fan. My grandpa was a Broncos fan, and then my uncle was a Chiefs fan. So it was a little bit of everybody. So football was on, but we never really decided on a game, and it was depending on whose house we're at, what game we're watching.
And so like the Kurt Warner, so you had the St. Louis Kurt Warner.
The Rams, growing up, the Rams were my team. Yeah. So I had Kurt Warner and all that fun stuff during that time era, and then
which I have to say, awful team to try to pick matching colors with. That ugly blue and gold. Come on, let's get out of here.
It was like a royal blue, but like a dark royal blue at the time. And trying to match stuff with Rams gear was not easy. Granted, I did go to a high school that was almost the same color blue. It was just a little lighter, so that kind of worked out. Okay. So it was Rams and Ava, so they were royal blue and gold as well, so it kind of matched, but the tints were a little off. And then my senior year of high school, my friend at the time was a huge Patriots fan, so I got like the mid to late Tom Brady phase, and with Gronk and Edelman and Amendola and all that fun stuff. So when they were right in their prime, winning all those Super Bowls, and then had a falling out with him, and then just came back home.
Falling out?
Yeah. We'll call it that without having to go into that story again, but yeah.
Which one? Which one? The deflate? Or were you...
No. Falling out with my friend.
Oh, I thought you meant with Tom Brady. No. I was like, okay, what Tom Brady did? Like, let me...
Falling out with my friend, and put it short end.
Oh no, you don't have to. You don't have to go into that. I just
No.
thought you meant like a falling out with Tom Brady.
No,
I was like,
no.
what Tom Brady do to you? Like, not answer your tweet or something, or like, what was the?
Long story short, yeah. Basically, I just cut all ties with him
Yeah.
and anything that reminded me of him, which meant cutting out the
Yeah,
Patriots as well.
yeah.
So, at that time, my grandpa's gone. My dad hasn't really paid attention to football other than when I was watching and stuff like that. My cousin and my uncle are still huge Chiefs fans, so I just felt like coming back home, and
What year was that?
What
Era
for what?
coming back?
Coming back, 2018, roughly.
So
17, 18?
you two.
Or, yeah. 17, 18, somewhere around in there.
So
I think the year Patrick got signed, but wasn't started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they started in that last game,
Right.
and he went off.
Yes.
Off.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh no, what do we do?" I remember because my buddy's been. He was actually the best man at my wedding. He's been a Chiefs fan forever. And I was so happy for him because they finally. My dad was a Steelers fan, and I love the story behind it because I was like, as a kid, my favorite colors were Cardinals, that white and red, and the blue. I loved it. I loved the color match to it. But it was I would like a team because of its colors. Well, that's why my dad liked it because it went with stuff that he wore. So he was a Steeler, and I was like, man, that's so stupid. But like the Jerome Bettis, I remember that era. And so I was just like, man, I really like the Chiefs red and the yellow. And like, I didn't want to be a fan because Patrick was good. But that first year, bro, that they started off 2 losses in a row, everybody was like, the Chiefs are done. The Chiefs are done. I was like, alrighty, boys, let's jump on the old train now that everybody's off of it. And it worked perfect for me, bro, because I got a Super Bowl out of the deal.
Snuck right in there.
Yeah. Everybody was like, oh, they're done. And I was like, good deal. We can go ahead and just, like the Homer Simpson, except in reverse. I just popped out of the bushes.
But yeah, color scheme wise, I think the two of them go together really well.
I love yellow, man.
Yeah.
That yellow is...
So, with the Cardinals, you got the yellow bat and stuff like that.
The beak.
And then...
The yellow beak.
Yeah. With the Chiefs, you don't really have a lot of blue, but every once in a while they'll throw in like But
the black to me is just as good as the blue because what are you not gonna go? I mean, it's just kind of.
They have some like random giveaway promotion stuff that's occasionally blue, but yeah, they just go together really well in my opinion. So. And the red from both of them are almost the same. So
the only thing that I wish, like I used to watch a whole lot of basketball, and I've started watching that more. But one of the things that I really liked about basketball was, remember the puffy era in the 90s and the 2000s where like the baggy jeans and like the puffy those shirts are my favorite, those puffy 90s shirts. And just a shout out to Michael, if you are ever in need of one, Abercrombie, bro, he turned me on to the Abercrombie game, and it's not been the same ever since. It's a life changer. And you're like, oh, so you're going to go pay $80 for a plain t-shirt. That's the kicker. It's not the same Abercrombie. So they don't even have like the Abercrombie patches and stuff on it anymore. But yeah, that was, I don't know why I thought of that, but I was thinking of like jackets and stuff that I used to have. Yeah. And I had like a starter jacket that was the Florida Gators. I liked it because it was orange. So I was a Gators fan for a while, and I'm like, what happened there?
Like I had an Arizona Cardinals college jacket there for a while, just because I randomly found it at a thrift store and liked it. So didn't even know who they were. It just had a Cardinals logo on it, and then eventually looked it up, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. I don't think I ever watched a single game, but the jacket looked really cool.
Yeah, I don't know. When's the Chiefs' next game? Or who is it?
Jacksonville is our next game. I believe it's next Sunday.
And then who are you up against this weekend? Fantasy.
This weekend, I'm up against JB in our league, and then in our family league, I'm up against my wife.
So for you, Travis Kelce, point wise, what were you expect? What were the predicted points that he was supposed to get?
On Monday. He was predicted to get 14, and then it dropped down to 11 until they came out with the final IR, and then it went down to 0.
So who's your backup?
Gray.
And what did he produce?
Like 4. Yeah.
When's the biggest chunk of your game? Sunday?
Yeah. Yep.
And then do you have any Monday games or?
Not that I know of. Granted, I haven't looked that closely yet, but.
And so it'll kick over again Tuesday.
Correct. Yep.
Because of the Tuesday game being the first. So will it be a Tuesday games every week?
Yeah. With the Monday games, yeah, it will kick over Tuesday as the start of a new week.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't know if we would have to wait until Thursday.
No.
Okay,
nope.
So
it's basically Tuesday at midnight.
Well, yeah, because that would make no. Yeah, it would have to kick over.
Yeah.
Because that's
And then depending on where you're at on the waiver wire, you can pick stuff up somewhere between midnight and 3 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So you'll just have to bear with us. The dogs are
predictor. Who's going to be your go off this year? Sorry, the mic fell.
I think for base camp, it's going to be Rice, our new rookie this year. He got 11. And then for the family league, it is, I can't even remember who I have, to be honest with you. Taylor.
Did you pick Kelce first in both?
I did. Yes, I did.
Well, what was your pick in the family?
A second. So, Caitlin got Patrick Mahomes, then I went Kelce. So,
she was first?
Yeah. So, the way it works in our family league, that where you win is the draft order. So she won, so she got first pick.
How's the base game or just random?
It's random.
Okay,
yep.
Okay. So, I feel bad now because it is a base camp team, but we had to have Corinne in it, so I was thinking it was just a home church league.
I mean, yeah. Can be.
Yeah. I forget the title of it is base camp.
Yeah.
What do you?
Well, technically, it's the League of Ordinary Men.
Yeah.
Or Gentlemen. So, we should probably change that now that Corinne's in it. But if we lose it, we lose the long name.
Yeah.
So they updated the app this year to where we can only have 20 characters, and it's too long to change anything. And the stuff that I thought was hilarious, everybody else was like, yeah. So, we'll see. We may keep it, we may not.
Right on, man. Well, you got anything else in the sports world you want to bring up?
Not that I can think of. I don't watch a lot of soccer or hockey or anything like that going on. So
basketball's really not.
Yeah.
I mean, it may have started. I don't know.
I'm not a big basketball guy either. So I know Messi's been over stateside for a while and stuff like that, but he's soccer. The only reason why I know that is because of Chris. But other than that, no, I don't think of anything.
Right on. Well, we haven't eaten yet, and we're starving.
Yes.
So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This has been the Man Cave podcast, coming from yours truly, Man Cave. And if you ever feel inclined to want to talk sports on a Saturday, you want to yuck it up here in the Man Cave with us, just give us a shout. We really don't have applicants for it. It was just kind of something that we like to do every once in a while.
Right.
We'll probably do a couple man caves at the base camp, along with the regular podcast.
Yeah.
But the man cave's just kind of a transition from basically with the home church aspect and the feel to it, but at the same time, it's more sports related. And you could bring up religion here anytime that you want. It's not going to hurt our feelings.
No. The only thing that we don't really talk about is politics, and that's because we just don't feel like the need to.
No. But yeah, I mean that's kind of what we do. We just yuck it up about our teams, complain about them. You don't have to be a local fan team to be on here. We've got Brett that's a Lions fan. You've got Leo with his Miami Dolphins. Michael, like his players on his fantasy team, it changes every week, every day. So I think he's a Green Bay
Packers fan.
Green Bay Raider,
and partially Dolphin fan.
Dolphin.
He just likes good players, which is how a lot of people start. Is that they like the players versus the teams. So I think overall he's claiming the Packers, but that's just because he refused to be a Raiders fan anymore. So.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we appreciate it, and come hang out with us anytime you want.
Yeah. Same way, just like the home church podcast. Just come find us or shoot us an email, or if you're actually at home church, you can get on the the home church center app and just apply there.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Stay blessed.
Peace.